Welcome to Tales by Tyrell, where every story unlocks a world of wonder. Today's tale is wrapped in mystery, soaked in danger, and sprinkled with magic. So open your heart, open your imagination, and step into the world of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Long ago, beyond sunlit dunes and moonlit oases, there was a humble woodcutter named Ali Baba. He lived a modest life in a small village, where every sunrise meant hard work and every night brought simple peace. His heart was pure, his hands were calloused, and his dreams were small but honest. Beside him stood his loyal wife, a kind and thoughtful woman, whose love was the only treasure Ali Baba had ever known. Together they faced life's hardships, never losing hope, even when their pockets were empty. Their world was modest, but it was warm, with the light of love and companionship. Ali Baba's elder brother, Qasim, on the other hand, had married into wealth and luxury. Qasim's world was wrapped in silks, his house filled with gold, but his heart had grown cold and greedy. To Qasim, riches defined worth, and his brother's humble life was nothing more than something to mock. One fateful day, while cutting wood deep in the forest, Ali Baba heard the thunder of horse hooves echoing through the trees. Fearing trouble, he climbed into the sturdy arms of an old fig tree and waited silently. Below, 40 fearsome riders clad in dark robes and armed with swords arrived. Their leader, a sharp-eyed man with a voice like rolling thunder, raised his hand and spoke words that shook the earth itself. "Open sesame!" Before Ali Baba's astonished eyes, the solid cliffside parted like a curtain, revealing a cave that shimmered with unimaginable riches. Towering piles of gold, silver, silk, and sparkling jewels. The thieves vanished inside. When they finally rode away, Ali Baba climbed down, standing before the cave. His voice trembled as he whispered the magic words. "Open sesame!" The rock obeyed. Ali Baba stepped into a world no poor man had ever known. Treasure beyond measure. But his heart remained humble. He took only what he needed, a small sack of gold coins, enough to ease their hunger and bring comfort to his dear wife. When he returned home, his wife was both shocked and overjoyed. Together they counted the coins, laughter echoing through their tiny home for the first time in years. With her help, Ali Baba lived wisely, improving their life but never losing his honest heart. But the glimmer of gold did not go unnoticed for long. Qasim, ever watchful and greedy, pressed Ali Baba until he revealed the cave's secret. Unlike his brother, Qasim's heart burned with greed. He rushed to the cave, eager to gather all the treasure. But once inside, blinded by his greed, he forgot the words to leave. When the thieves returned, they found Qasim trapped and dealt him a grim fate. Days later, Ali Baba found what was left of his brother, and with deep sorrow, he and his wife gave him a respectful burial. In Ali Baba's household, there lived a sharp-eyed, clever servant named Morgiana. She had served Ali Baba's wife faithfully for years. Though just a servant, Morgiana was more like family. Wise, brave, and fiercely loyal to Ali Baba. But trouble had only begun. The thieves, furious that someone had discovered their secret, were determined to find and destroy the man who knew the words, "Open sesame." Their leader disguised himself as an oil merchant and arrived at Ali Baba's door, bringing 40 large oil jars. Ali Baba, ever generous, welcomed the merchant into his home, offering him shelter for the night. But it was Morgiana who first sensed that something was amiss. Late that evening, as she prepared the lamps, she passed the oil jars and paused. Instead of the rich scent of oil, her sharp ears caught the shallow breaths of men hiding inside the jars. Her heart raced, but her mind stayed calm. Acting swiftly, Morgiana devised a brilliant plan. Without a sound, she sealed the jars from the outside, trapping the thieves inside. When morning came, the leader's wicked plan had already failed. The thieves were captured without a fight, and Ali Baba's house was safe. But the leader of the thieves, crafty and relentless, returned once more. This time, he wove his way into Ali Baba's trust under a new disguise. Days later, he was invited as an honored guest to a grand feast at Ali Baba's house. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the scent of roasted lamb. As the feast reached its peak, Morgiana appeared, dressed in a flowing red silk robe, her face veiled, her eyes sparkling like stars. She danced before the guests, graceful as a flame, her movements enchanting and mesmerizing. Every step, every swirl of her scarf was carefully planned. As her dance reached its final note, she paused before the guest of honor, the thief leader. With lightning speed, she drew a small, sharp dagger hidden in her robe, and with one swift strike, ended the villain's schemes forever. The room fell silent, and then Ali Baba, though shocked, realized the truth. Morgiana had saved his life not once, but twice. He and his wife embraced her as one of their own, rewarding her loyalty beyond measure. With the last of the thieves gone, Ali Baba's days of fear were over. Using the treasures from the cave, Ali Baba became a man of wealth, but he never let fortune change his heart. He shared his riches generously, lived humbly, and earned the love and respect of all who knew him. Thus, the woodcutter who once returned home with empty hands became a legend, and his story whispered through the sands for generations, reminding the world, true fortune is found not in gold, but in kindness, wisdom, and a heart unspoiled by greed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Tales by Tyrell for more magical stories.